Hey guys, Spike from the 16-Bit Syndicate. Just wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit today about challenges in video games. Now, I really like challenges in video games. When it comes to challenges, I will always pick hard mode in a video game just because even if there are no benefits, no perks in some games, you get better loot or you get more experience or what have you if you pick hard mode, but in other games hard mode is just kind of maybe you'll get achievement at the end for beating it. But it's not even about that. For me, it's just I like to overcome challenges, especially in video games, because it gives it gives me something. I don't know what it is, but it gives me something. It makes me feel more accomplished about beating the game as opposed to just running through it on normal. Because if you haven't noticed, most video games nowadays, normal is kind of retro easy. If you go back to the NES days or the Super NES days, those games, they didn't have easy, hard, or normal difficulties. There was just the game, and most of the time, that game was difficult. Even going back to Super Mario Brothers, the original, the game was pretty damn hard. It was lengthy and it was difficult. All those cliffs, the platforming, the turtles with the hammers. It was a difficult game, to beat. And there's some opinions about that. Why video games back then were a little bit more challenging than games now. And is that the consumer's fault? Is that us as gamers, complaining? Is that them catering to us to make it more accessible to a wider audience? Because if it's too challenging, not too many people will play it. A lot of people don't like challenges. People want to feel overpowered, especially, an argument I guess for that is, you play as these characters, these soldiers or knights or what have you, and they're supposed to know their shit. They're supposed to be overpowered. They're supposed to be powerful and know what they're doing, and you're playing as them. So why should it be such a challenge? When you press the B button, the guy should duck. He should know what he's doing. And so I guess that's kind of an argument for that, but I don't know. To me that doesn't fly. I want a challenge in a video game, and I think back then it wasn't necessarily because they had that pressure. It's because they had, $60 still for a game back then, and that's all you got. And they weren't as lengthy as they are now. Video games weren't as long, and there wasn't such things as open world games, and they weren't just as massive as they are now. And so they gave you a tough experience, so it would take you longer, I think. And I loved it for it because it made you earn that victory. When you saved that princess, you went through a lot of trials and tribulations to do so, and that made it mean more to you. It's kind of like watching a movie, going to see a movie, especially if you go to the theaters and you watch a movie, you're paying like what, $7 to $10. You want to go see that movie, and you want to feel something. You want to be on the edge of your seat, and when you walk out of the theater, you want to be talking about it. You want it to be running through your head. You don't want to walk out of the theater and not be thinking about it, or just watching the movie while you're in the theater and thinking about something else. You want to be affected by it, and so that's what it is for me. When I'm playing a game, I want to be affected by it, and it doesn't necessarily happen on normal because normal mode nowadays isn't that difficult. You just run through it, and so you're just playing through it. Maybe you get a couple wow moments here and there, but it's not to an extent as it should be, as it is for me when I'm playing a hard, a difficult, challenging game, or a challenging mode, a hard mode. I get more out of that because I have to struggle more, and when I finally do beat it, I feel like I earned it, like I did really good, and against all odds, I overcame the difficulty. And a lot of games nowadays don't know how to do it right. Dark Souls 2, they really knew what they were doing, because there's a fine line between challenging and unfair. Games nowadays, don't know how to get that right. They go a little bit to the unfair, because then they make, you click on hard mode for some games, and the enemies are massively overpowered, and then you are way underpowered. So there's not much skill. It's just you really taking your time. Whereas in Dark Souls, you're underpowered and your enemies are overpowered, but there's enough game mechanics in there for you to learn that you could become really good and you can overcome those. It's not just about shooting, it's about swinging your sword or axe or what have you, and then dodging, knowing the enemy's attack pattern, knowing their swing times, basically when they swing at you, how long is it going to take them to recover, how many hits can you get in. So there's a lot of fairness in that, and I just wish more games had that, because I do, again, really enjoy challenges. But yeah, there's just something about beating a game that, or just beating even a mission that's one step above you. Overcoming the odds and finally earning that victory. There's something to be said about that. I just wish more games were like that. I don't know. Those are just my opinions. Maybe you guys have other opinions. Maybe you love it. Maybe you hate challenges. Why don't you let me know in the comments down below? Thanks for watching. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover in future episodes of the Spike Pit, go ahead and leave that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys.